If someone had told me a year ago that I would be here, sitting in my empty house, surrounded by memories of a life I thought I knew, I wouldn't have believed them. I was too busy being in love with Kevin, the man I thought was my soulmate. We met at a coffee shop in Los Angeles, and it was like the whole world had come to a standstill. He had these piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right through me, and a charming smile that made me feel like I was home. We talked for hours, and I knew I had found the one. Or so I thought. At first, everything was perfect. We would take long walks on the beach, go on romantic getaways, and just enjoy each other's company. He was my rock, my partner in every sense of the word. I felt like I could tell him anything, and he would always be there to listen. But then, things started to change. He suddenly needed more space and alone time. He would say things like, "I love you, but I need some time to myself," and I would feel this knot in my stomach. I tried to brush it off, thinking that he was just stressed with work or something. But looking back, I realized that was one of the first red flags I ignored. He also never wanted me to meet his coworkers. He would make excuses, saying that they were all busy or that it was not a good time. And when I would ask him about his day, he would get evasive, changing the subject or telling me that it was boring. And then there were the phone calls. He would take calls in another room and speak quietly, like he was trying not to be overheard. I would feel this pang of curiosity, wondering who was on the other end of the line and what they wanted. But I pushed those thoughts aside, telling myself that I was being paranoid. I loved Kevin, and I trusted him. Or so I thought. We got engaged, and I was on cloud nine. I thought that our love was strong enough to overcome anything. But little did I know, Kevin had a secret that would change everything. It started when he downloaded social media for the first time. He said it was for work, but I later found out that it was for something much more sinister. He began to communicate with someone, a woman who would become his wife. Yes, you heard that right. His wife. I found out about her on his birthday, when I surprised him with a romantic dinner. He got a call, and I saw the name Sarah on his phone. I asked him who it was, and he told me it was just a friend from work. But when I saw the look on his face, I knew something was off. And then, I saw the plane tickets. He had booked a trip to Hawaii with Sarah, and the tickets were dated for the following week. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I asked him about it, and he told me that the trip was canceled. But I knew it was not. I started to investigate, and what I found out shook me to my core. Kevin had been secretly married to Sarah since before we even got engaged. He had done this exact thing to his 3 previous girlfriends, convincing them that he was the love of their life while hiding his true identity. I felt like I was living in a nightmare. I confronted him, but he just smiled and told me that I was overreacting. He said that I was his soulmate and that he loved me more than anything. But I knew the truth. I realized that I'd been living in a fake world, a world that Kevin had created to manipulate and control me. I felt like I was losing myself, like I was disappearing into thin air. But then, something inside me snapped. I remembered the words of my mutual friend, Rachel, who had been warning me about Kevin's behavior. She had told me that something did not feel right, and that I deserved better. I started to take back control of my life. I packed my bags, and I left him. I did not want to be a part of his lies and manipulation anymore. As I walked out of the house, I felt a sense of freedom that I had never felt before. I knew that I had a long road ahead of me, but I was ready. I was ready to face the truth, to face Kevin, and to take back my life. You know, I always thought I was the problem, I said to Rachel, as we sat in her living room, sipping coffee. I thought that I was the one who was flawed, who was making him cheat. Rachel looked at me with tears in her eyes. You were never the problem, she said. He was. He's a monster, and you deserve so much better, I nodded, feeling a sense of validation. I knew that I was not alone, that there were people who cared about me and who wanted to help. And then, I got a call from his best friend, Alex. Hey, I need to talk to you about something, he said, his voice shaking. I know about Kevin's secret. I know about Sarah, and I know about the other girls. I listened as he told me the truth, as he confessed to feeling guilty for not saying anything sooner. I felt a mix of emotions, but mostly, I felt angry. Angry that Kevin had lied to me. Angry that he had manipulated me. And angry that he had hurt me. But most of all, I felt empowered. I knew that I had the strength to overcome this, to rise above the pain and the betrayal. I knew that I deserved better, and I was determined to find it. As I hung up the phone, I felt a sense of resolution. I knew that I still had a long way to go, but I was ready. I was ready to face the future, to face Kevin, and to take back my life. I took a deep breath, and I started to walk. I walked out of the past, and I walked into the unknown. But I knew that I was not alone, that I had a newfound strength and a newfound sense of purpose. And, as I walked, I smiled. I smiled because I knew that I was free, that I was finally free from Kevin's lies and manipulation. I was free to be me, to find my own happiness, and to live my own life.